Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and welcome to Lost in the Wasteland. And because of some scheduling conflicts, we have Jess here back, who was my very first guest, because she is a great supportive significant other.
Hooray.
And now she gets to be the first two-time guest on the show, so I had to come up with a whole new set of questions, and we'll be seeing some other people making their ways back onto the show as well. But thank you for coming on, Jess.
You're welcome. Good to be here.
Glad. So, to start things off, we're going to start off with a kind of question thinking about some films that might be on people's, watch lists. It's like people's like, have you seen this film? And sometimes people are like, yeah, sure, I've seen that film. But, so, Jess, what is a previously released film that you have not seen that you would be excited to see?
So I took a look at Shane's extensive collection here and picked the first one I saw that I didn't see. And it's The Breadwinner. You do talk about this a lot. And it sounds like it's up my alley. I mean, it's animated. It's got like sounds like a weighty subject matter. But I trust Cartoon Saloon to do it well.
Yes, Cartoon Saloon is great, and this is the only, not Gaelic, Celtic kind of animated film that they've done up to this point.
I've also never seen Children of Men, which I think after that article I read you about how men are increasingly infertile, I think it's probably relevant. I believe the year was, 2054? Freeze your sperm and eggs, I guess.
I guess we'll be reaching the world of Children of Men, but that is also a great
The article didn't have a solution. It just said, good luck, everybody.
We'll see what happens, but you should check out Children of Men. It's a great film. It has some great filmmaking, very long takes at certain points in the film. Clive Owen is really good in the film, Julianne Moore. Michael Caine is basically doing an ode to his friend John Lennon, and basically was like, I'm going to act like I would think John Lennon would be at this age, which is it's an interesting performance. And Chiwetel Ejiofor and Charlie Hunnam are both in the film as well. Great cast, great concept, awesome filmmaking, and it's not exactly the most uplifting of films. So
Sorry, as we discussed earlier today, not necessarily my style.
Exactly. But now, what upcoming film that hasn't been released yet are you most excited about?
Probably French Dispatch. I do like Wes Anderson. I don't know if I should call it a guilty pleasure, because it's like I think he's a
there is no guilt in this dojo when it comes to Wes Anderson, as I look up and see 3 posters.
But I do get people's criticisms of him. I understand that, or not even criticisms, critiques, I guess is a better word for it. But yes, I'm looking forward to the French Dispatch.
Wes Anderson too white.
Yeah, I see where people criticize him, but I still enjoy
he
it.
is on a very specific frequency.
Yeah.
And
that accessible to everybody.
That happens to be one of my strongest frequencies, so it really works for me. So
it's quirky, symmetrical.
Yes, it's
richly colored.
If you like a gritty, realistic, just
that's not
really tangible kind of film, that's not Wes Anderson.
I do that sometimes though.
It feels like you're watching a completely different existence and world, so I love it. But now, out of any kind of film, if you could pick any film to remake, what movie would you remake?
That's a good question, and I had an answer and I can't remember what it was. I would love to see what anybody would do with Blood Meridian. I don't think anybody would see it, because it's such a dark novel.
So, we're jumping to a later question, which is, if you could adapt any written work as a film, what could it be?
I may have gotten these questions in advance. Yes, so that would be Blood Meridian. So, remake.
So,
Lady Killers and make it not fucking weird. Which
that's a funny thing, because
make it not weird.
I haven't seen the original Lady Killers, which is like I think 50s British dark comedy with Sir Alec Guinness, and I think Peter Sellers in it too. So that was like a British black comedy, and then the Coen Brothers remade it.
I'd like to revise my answer to Tomorrowland and make it not horribly disappointing.
Do we just remake the third act? Or the whole movie.
Yeah, like, just take what works, even like George Clooney, and just reshoot the last third act.
Just don't have the climax of your big budgeted science fiction adventure be two middle-aged dudes punching each other in the face.
It didn't work for me.
No.
It didn't work for many people.
I'm just
It
like...
also got weirdly preachy. Like, I mean, I guess the whole time if it was that way. And, like, this is coming from somebody who very much believes in the environment and doing what we can to protect it. Like,
it was very on the nose. I love Tomorrowland for 2/3 of it. And then sometimes, like, I argue the hardest thing to do is finish a film.
Yeah, I get that.
And it did not stick the landing. It's like...
It was weird.
It pulled a Gangs in New York
Yeah,
for me. And I'm just like, that is my perfect example of when a movie goes awry. And I'm just like, ooh, what did you do to me?
Yeah.
At least this one's not 2.5 hours.
It's true.
So at least you put in that much of an investment.
It's true.
But, so, Jess, what is your fondest memory of going to the movies?
I only really have, like, one memory of going to the movies. Besides the time I told that guy off in Finding Nemo. It's fun because I love my aunt a lot. I had already seen Mulan, I think, when did it come out? 98? So I was...
97, 98, somewhere
I
around
was,
there,
like,
yeah.
7-ish. And I had already seen the movie, so I knew exactly what was happening, and my aunt wanted to go, so I went with her. And for some reason, I, like, that scene where they're all coming down the mountain and, like, attacking the army... I got really freaked out and insisted that we leave. I became hysterical. I have no idea why. Again, I had already seen the movie. My poor Aunt Linda, I don't think has still seen the end of Mulan. I don't know why I did it. But good for her. She put my needs, no matter how ridiculous, above her desire to see the end of an animated movie.
Well, you know what? It is a very memorable story, and I've definitely heard this story before, so it's a good one to tell because it's interesting. I had I had a situation where I missed the last hour of Fellowship of the Ring because my aunt didn't check to see how long the movie was, and I had to get to a basketball game. And then I found out when I went to school the next day that I missed an hour of the movie because I thought that it was almost over anyway. It was when Frodo gets stabbed by the cave troll. I missed I missed the Balrog, first of all. I missed Gandalf falling. I missed Lothlorien, missed all of Cate Blanchett in this movie, and then Amenhen, the whole entire climax of the movie. So yeah, sometimes we don't get to finish our movies, but some movies we wish that we didn't finish, like
the two we were talking about.
Like After Earth.
Oh God.
And Where Are You, Bernadette? Or What Happened to You, Bernadette?
Where'd You Go, Bernadette?
Where'd You Go, Bernadette?
It should be What Happened with You, Bernadette.
Yeah, I went to the bathroom during it, and I didn't miss it.
I was jealous of you. I was like, he's in the bathroom right now.
Apparently she was jealous of me, too, falling asleep during After Earth, which is why she kept waking me up.
I mean, I fell asleep for the other half. It was a mutual keeping each other up.
So, Jess, what was a film that really exceeded your expectations when you saw it?
The Lego Movie. It came out in January.
February.
Okay, it came out the first week of February.
So it came out like cousin to Dumping Ground January.
So it came out adjacent to January.
Yes.
It's called The Lego Movie. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be like Meet the Spartans or Scary Movie Bajillion or whatever the fuck. Really enjoyed it a lot. I laughed more than the kids in the theater did, honestly.
I can attest, she did. And I did too. Those kids were not like vibing with it as much as we were and dying.
When they reveal what the Craggle is, they did not. They were like, why? What's wrong with her?
As a purveyor of dad jokes, all of it, like, Neil Polish and Leash, like, all of that. All of it.
They were like pre-reading age too. They were pretty young kids. I think they were barely like cognizant of what was happening.
Hey buddy, would you like a glass of water? Sure. Too bad.
I'm gonna put Kung Fu Panda up there too because it's like literally it's a movie called Kung Fu Panda. It had no business. It didn't have to go that hard.
Those three movies had no business being as great as they are, and that Jack Black energy though. I love Jack Black.
Everybody.
if you haven't started following Jack Black on social media, then what are you doing? Because you're missing out on a lot of things.
I'll recommend.
Now, getting back to a question you already answered of what you would adapt, why would you adapt Blood Meridian?
I want to see what people would do with it. I think that we're in a disillusioned, dark, gritty society now, and it's time. It's time to see that dead baby bush. Minor spoilers.
So, who do you have an idea who you would want to make that movie?
No. Someone pick it up.
It's like what pops in my head right away is either the Coen brothers or John Hillcoat, who did The Road. So
yeah, I can see that. Or like, I forget what I was gonna say. It's about the only Cormac McCarthy book I can think off the top of my head that hasn't been adapted. Because All the Pretty Horses has, The Road has.
I haven't seen that one, but yeah. No Country's
Country for
over
Old Men
here. The
has.
Road's over there.
Yeah, like that's a bunch of them.
Actually, The Road's down there, all the way at the bottom. Yep. But I would definitely agree. Cormac McCarthy, well, he just shouldn't write them, though. The counselor. Now, Jess, if you can remember, what's your favorite movie trailer?
The Lighthouse. I love me a good sea shanty.
My one criticism of The Lighthouse.
You don't know what it's about?
No, is that
prepare you?
No, my one criticism of the movie The Lighthouse is that they didn't have more sea shanties
There weren't
in the movie.
You're right, Shane. There wasn't enough kissing.
Where did all that sexual tension go?
They got so close.
They just turned it into brute violence, but I won't give anything away more than that.
Pulled a Fight Club.
Yeah. Just the two of them.
No,
and the seagulls.
I do like a good sea shanty.
The sea shanty in it, the oh.
Yeah, that horrifying foghorn.
Oh man, I remember seeing that trailer and just being like, what is this? And I want it right now. It had, that gave me the same reaction I got to the Green Knight trailer. When I first saw that, I'm like, this looks bonkers. And
are you familiar with Arthurian literature?
Yes.
You are? Okay.
Yes. I read The Once and Future King. I've seen plenty of King Arthur movies, including First Knight, I believe that was, where Sean Connery was King Richard. Excalibur.
Yeah.
Also, Terry Gilliam's The Fisher King, which draws upon because Robin Williams' character taught Arthurian literature. I wish I took that Arthurian Legends class.
I did.
With Morse.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Or I took an adjacent class. It was.
They
really,
took a class. They
really
had a
weird.
class at Rider.
I took a lot of English classes.
There's a lot of weird shit in those stories.
There is a lot of weird shit in those stories, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, maybe that's why I wasn't blown away by the Green Knight, because I'm just like, I'm pretty sure I remember this weird stuff happening somewhere in there. It looks great though. I mean, it looks great.
Oh, the new trailer that came out where Gawain just chops his head off, and the Green Knight's just starts talking. It's like, I'll be back in 1 year. 1 year, 1 day. Gonna get you then. Oh man, I'm so ready for that movie. Now, shifting gears a little bit into some music in movies. So, Jess, what's your favorite use of a song in a movie?
Any Rolling Stones song. Actually, Don't Stop Me Now and Shaun of the Dead. I really enjoy that. It's silly.
That is honestly might be my favorite Queen song because of Shaun of the Dead.
There's just so many gags that work. Like, kill the Queen.
Oh man.
What about you, Shane? What's your favorite?
That's a good question. There's so many great uses of songs in movies, and that's definitely one of my favorites. That is such a great use. I'm surprised you didn't bring up Alabama Song from The World's End.
That's a good one too.
Basically, Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
One that so two songs that this is gonna be a hot take, not from Awesome Mix Volume 1, Awesome Mix Volume 2, which I've heard plenty of people I don't remember any of the songs from Awesome Mix Volume 2. I'm
Brandy was on there.
The use of Brandy, I never once in my whole entire life thought that the song Brandy would ever be used as a plot point in a Marvel movie or any movie in general. But like, it really represents the story because Ego the Living Planet's just like, he's that sailor. He's married to the sea, which is space, and he just can't be with Brandy.
He's married to fucking everything.
Everything. Except the thing is, I don't think the captain in Brandy gave Brandy a brain tumor.
Give her a bracelet.
Yes.
From the coast of Spain or whatever.
Yes. Which is much nicer than a brain tumor. And,
yeah, I would agree with that.
But one song that hit me so hard was Fathers and Sons. When they played during Yondu's funeral in Guardians Volume 2, that hit me on a whole different level. I'm just like, dang.
I thought of another one, too. Mm-hmm. It's the beginning of Love Actually, when they played Bye Bye Baby at that funeral.
Oh my god.
Poor Liam Neeson. Character, and then
Liam Neeson's, because then he actually dealt with that for real, which is really sad.
It's super sad.
I have to think about this more, but like they're like Edgar Wright obviously and James Gunn really know how to use music in movies, but there's so many great ones, and I have to think about that. I'm not the one being interviewed here. What's going on here? So, and then another one related to music is if you're sitting there and you want to put on like a movie score to listen to, what's that score that you're going to pick?
Score or soundtrack?
Score, specifically.
I don't have an answer for score. I have to think. I do, as we discussed earlier, I do really like the True Grit score. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big score without... Like, I'm not a big score person. I like soundtracks a lot more. Like, there are scores that I'll listen to, but I won't sit down and be like, oh man, I really want to put Interstellar on, especially because, like, that's sensory overload for me.
She brought that up because she knows I would.
Yeah, see? And I have very distinct memories of just, like, sitting in the car or whatever, and it's silent for about 2 minutes, and all of a sudden you're hit with the word, and I'm just like, I know this is the third time I've listened to this, and I know that it's the Interstellar soundtrack. I'd have to think, do musicals count? Because, like, I listen the hell out of Chicago.
Well, because the thing is, they have scores. It's all the music that goes along with the lyrics and the songs. But, like, I would agree, I love the music from Chicago.
It's very, like...
all that fussy.
All that jazz.
Literally. All that jazz. Which is also up there.
I do really like Chicago.
Got that fussy going on.
I don't think it should have won Best Picture, but sure.
Sure. The Two Towers.
I'm not even the biggest Lord of the Rings fan. Like, I'm a fan, but I'm not, like, fanatical, and I would still pick it.
I'm just giving my choice of what should have won Best Picture.
That's a good soundtrack, too. I'm going to go with any soundtrack I can pick out when you're playing it that I actually know. Which means...
Because everything's Batman.
Everything's Batman, and then everything was the Avengers. And then it was
it kept being because every time I played the X-Men theme from, like, the Bryan Singer X-Men movies, never guessed X-Men.
They sound like that. They sound similar. Sort of. To me.
To somebody who's listened to these scores
to the untrained ear.
To somebody who's listened to these so many times, it's just like, so awful, and like, this is how impactful a score can be. I remember seeing X-Men Days of Future Past, which might have been one of my last actual midnight premieres because they started doing 7 o'clock showings, and that's much more my speed. We went with like a group of people. Ethan was there, I think Kevin was there, I think Hector drove down and met us at Cinemark because Kevin was there, so obviously we went to Cinemark. So I have many fond memories of going to Cinemark with Kevin, but the second, like, that, the overture part, like, the cold open, I guess, of Days of Future Past, the post-apocalyptic, all the Sentinels and everything, and you find, like, a dead X-Man in the ground, and it just starts zooming in on, like, the X symbol, and then it starts the Bryan Singer score, which hadn't been used since X2, X-Men Unite. I'm just like, I got goosebumps all up and down my arms. I'm getting them on the back of my neck right now because it just, like, triggered that feeling. I'm like, yes. I love Days of Future Past so much. But my last question for you, Jess, is if you could stop movies from doing one thing, what would you stop movies from doing?
I feel like I haven't seen it in a while, but I get really irritated about the manic pixie dream girl trope. I feel like I've seen it more subverted lately, but it does irritate the shit out of me when I say it. I also am not a fan of the like refrigerator woman concept, where like the whole thing that sets the plot in motion is a woman dying and her man being like, I gotta avenge her. This is the thing driving me forward. Clearly I didn't have any character development before she died. Like, it irritates that they gave
away in the trailer for that Jake Gyllenhaal
that's another
movie.
thing I hate, is giving a lot of shit away in the trailer. Even if you don't know it's a
they
spoiler.
Give everything
you're
away
still waiting for it the whole movie.
Who is, like, if you can think of an example, who's, like, your most frustrating, like, manic pixie dream girl that just, like, bothered you so much when you saw them in a movie?
I really got irritated, even though I know they subverted a bit with Scott Pilgrim, just because I was mad at him. So I guess I don't hate the manic pixie dream girl, I get mad at the character who's, like, obsessed with her.
God
and I'm like,
damn,
you
Michael
can do better
Cera.
without this, like, come on.
Oh, Michael Cera.
Also, yeah, he has a very...
Hot take here, I hate Michael Cera in Scott Pilgrim. I love the movie. It would have been so much better if they...
he was a babe.
No.
I didn't buy that.
Did not buy that for 1 second. I did not believe well, maybe Knives, because, like...
She's a teenager. She's a child. She's like a literal child.
Yeah, who's like, oh my god, an older guy, even though he's a complete loser.
Yeah. I'm not.
So she doesn't understand the fact that, like, he's going nowhere with his life, and her life has only just begun.
Yeah,
that's a great use of a song in Happy Gilmore, by the way.
I also get irritated with JGL's character in 500 Days of Summer. I get really annoyed with him.
Which, that's great what that film does.
Too. Yeah, yes. Like, so I don't, it's not that I hate films that do that. It's more like I hate the characters, and I hate films that don't subvert it, because it's like, here's my motivation as this girl.
Which 500 Days of Summer has a great use of a song from Hall & Oates. Crap, I'm blanking. It's the song where it's like magic. I'll just edit this out later. Or I'll leave it in there and y'all could be entertained by me forgetting what the name of the song was.
A Hall & Oates song.
Yeah, I love Hall & Oates. But thinking of Happy Gilmore, another answer to use of a song that I love is Tuesday's Gone is the theme to Happy Gilmore. Yeah. Interesting pick, but I grew up watching Adam Sandler movies all the time. So that was my last question. So it's now your time to ask me a question, because that's how we wrap up the show, is my guest ask the Wasteland Reviewer a question.
First of all, how dare you?
How dare you?
How dare
you? How dare I? How dare you?
What's the worst film you've seen so far in 2021? And also why? And also, did I watch it with you?
Yes. Oh my god. It was...
Mad all over again.
What the hell? No, actually, I don't know if you did you watch that Monster House, Monster something or other?
Yeah, was that the one where they, like, transformed, it was like a machine or something?
Yeah, it's a horrible, low-budget animated movie.
Oh, that was the one that was really ugly, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree, that's bad.
I'm trying to let my Letterboxd load so I could confirm the name of this, but it was like Monster House or Monster Hunt or Monster something
Town,
or other.
Monster City.
Something.
City of Monsters.
Something like that. But it was bad. It was real bad. Music was almost there though.
Oh yeah, I got
like if I had to pick something that was like an actual like studio produced movie, it was definitely music. That movie made me irrationally angry. And made me feel so uncomfortable in so many different ways. But my Letterboxd is slowly loading up to lists.
It's okay.
But yeah, music really made me angry. Like, real angry. And I've seen almost 250 films so far this year already. So there's definitely some garbage to sift through.
I would argue that one's actively harmful.
Yes, I think that one is a worse film, big picture, than some random know-nothing, just like animated movie.
That like 10 people are gonna see.
Oh, Monster Zone.
Monster Zone, that's right. I did watch that with you.
Monster Zone, Panda vs. Aliens,
Oh, that was awful too.
and Cosmic Sin, which had Bruce Willis sleepwalking through another.
I didn't see that one.
She did.
Oh, that's the impression it left on there.
Yes, here's the thing. Jess watches a lot of movies with me, and so it's completely understandable she doesn't remember some of these.
Yeah, and here's the thing, I have ADHD, so like if I'm not invested in it, it's not there. It's not gonna stay in my memory bank. Unless it's so bad that it's the swing of things and I just fucking hate it. That is the worst thing I have ever seen in my life. It was so horrible. It made me feel like the boys in South Park when they wouldn't get their money back from Mel Gibson. That's how I felt, and it was free on Netflix.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. You paid for that? So
I did.
I definitely am feeling like I should go on a quest to get money back.
Want my money back from Amazon where I rented on VOD.
Oh my god, it was horrible.
No, don't watch the swing of things. But
No, it's not even so bad. It's funny. It's just bad. It's not like Birdemic, Shock and Terror.
So many bad, like
Swinging hangers.
And I'm not the kind of person that likes bad movies.
I am.
To watch for fun. Jess does, but I just, but that was a fun question because that definitely it was No High Ground, which we watched this weekend. Which I'm gonna, since that's right in my head, go check out High Ground. It is a great meat pie western, which is an Australian western with Simon Baker in it. Go check it out. But that's it for us. Those were all my questions, and thank you for your question as well, Jess, and thank you for coming on and filling in and going through all these questions. And she'll probably be the first one to do round 3 as well, and I'm halfway writing the questions for that one. But we'll see. But thank you, Jess. And thank all of you out there for always tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.